If your root chakra is blocked, then did you know you're in danger? Not the kind of danger you might think, but danger of living your entire life feeling unsafe, ungrounded, and disconnected from all the abundance that's actually all around you. I know because I've lived this way for years. I had this voice in my head constantly saying, there's not enough money, even when there was more than enough. I'd say life isn't working out for me, even though it was. And here's the scariest part, I had no idea I was even thinking these thoughts. They were just running completely subconsciously, sabotaging everything. That's the real danger of a blocked root chakra. It keeps you trapped in fear, in scarcity, even when you know you're safe and you're abundant. And here's what I discovered, it's completely healable. Hi, I'm Sarita. I'm a certified transformational coach, and I help you align your mindset, your body, your energy so you can achieve whatever you want in life. Now, if you've been feeling chronically anxious, unsafe in your own body, or like you're constantly waiting for something bad to happen, even when everything is actually okay, this video could change everything for you. Because in this video, I'm going to share with you what's really happening when your root chakra is blocked and why you might be attracting the same problems over and over and over. Then we'll go over subconscious programming from childhood that's still running your life today. And then I'll go through spiritual practices like meditation, mantras, affirmations that actually work, together with science based techniques to rewire your nervous system. And then I'll be going through an ancient Hawaiian healing practice that made me cry the first time I did it and finally released decades and decades of fear. Now, before we dive in, please subscribe because next week we're exploring the sacral chakra and I'm going to show you why you might be unconsciously blocking pleasure, joy, creativity from your life. Now, let's understand what's happening when the root chakra is blocked. And let me tell you about my experience. Do you know what's interesting? I didn't even realize until about 3 years ago that I had been living with this constant story in my head that there's not enough money, life isn't working out for me, the answer is going to be no anyway. These questions and these things were going in around my head. And here's the thing, there was always more than enough money. Life was actually working out for me, but I couldn't see it because I was trapped in this internal negative dialogue that I didn't even know I was having. I was doing it completely subconsciously every day underneath everything else. This quiet little voice was saying, it's not enough. You're not safe. Something bad is happening. The answer is going to be no anyway. And I wasn't aware I was even thinking these thoughts. They were just running in the background like a program I didn't know had been installed. And it wasn't until I started really paying attention that I realized how much fear I was carrying. On the surface, things looked okay, but inside, there was this constant worry about money that was actually there, about safety when I was actually safe. I felt like I didn't quite belong anywhere. My body was always braced, always tense. I was sitting on the edge of the chair, never relaxed like I'm sitting now. And it wasn't until I entered a coaching program that I realized that my root chakra was severely blocked and calling for my attention. Now, if you're new to this, I know root chakra might feel a little bit unfamiliar. Let me explain this simply. It's an energy center at the base of your spine that helps you feel safe, feel stable, and worthy of being here. It's the foundation of all your chakras. And remember, when the foundation is broken, anything you build on top, it's automatically not going to fit in place. So here's something I've learned. Most of the time, when the root chakra needs healing, it's connected to things we've experienced when we were younger. And I want you to know it doesn't have to be something dramatic. Maybe you grew up hearing your parents stress about money, or you were told you can't get what you wanted because there was not enough money. Maybe you moved frequently and never felt settled. Maybe it was because your emotional needs weren't met and that you were told to stay quiet because that's what good children do. Or you were told not to cry. Big boys or strong boys don't cry. That little version of you, that's still inside of you, still holding those feelings of uncertainty, of fear. And this is what we call inner child trauma. And I know that this might sound a little bit complex, but it's actually quite simple. It's the part of you that learned that the world might not be safe. And that part is still quietly influencing how you feel today, even though you've grown up. Now, if you watched last week's video about recognizing when your chakras are blocked, you might have identified that your root chakra needs some tender, loving care. And if you haven't seen that, let me leave the link below and also at the card here. And it really helps with understanding what's calling for healing. But for now, keep watching because I'm about to explain exactly what your body is going through and why understanding this will give you that light bulb moment. When you have inner child trauma, your nervous system has been living in a state of high alert. Now, there's a part of your brain called the amygdala, and that's been scanning for danger because that's what you understood of the situation at the time. And when this happens, your body produces stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. And a lot of the time, it is throughout the day. So it's not just one particular moment, it is constant times during the day. And these hormones cause your breathing to become shallow and fast. Your muscles hold tension that you are in constant state of fight and flight, and your nervous system is a total wreck. I know how exhausting this is because I've been there. But here's something beautiful. You have a nerve called the vagus nerve that works like a gentle reset for your whole nervous system. Now, when we learn to work with this kindly, it sends a message to your brain. And that message is I'm safe. It's okay to relax. And this is what grounding practices really look like. They're not just spiritual concepts, they're actually helping your body's chemistry shift from a state of fear into a state of safety and peace. Now, for me, it took me about 5 months of gentle, consistent practice before I really felt a shift. And when I say a shift, I mean something I could actually feel in my body, less stress, feeling more relaxed, feeling as if I'm not sitting on the edge of the chair, and the ability to rest without feeling guilty and feeling afraid. So I want you to know this approach really does work, but it asks for your patience and your presence and consistency. Now, let me share with you the specific practices that transformed my life. And make sure you stay with me till the end because I'm going to teach you an ancient Hawaiian technique that was a real game changer for me. So, what made the biggest difference for me was something that I used to do for myself every single day in bits and pieces. I would do a bit of movement here, a bit of dance, then I would do a little bit of breath work. And a little bit of subconscious programming with affirmations, and then I would do a visualization meditation in the evening. And these were all done throughout the day at different times, and they genuinely changed everything for me. I realized that a lot of the time I'd go through this state of fight and flight, living in fear throughout the day. And what I would be doing is sleeping with these dense negative energies that I'd collected in the day. And then guess what? I'd be waking up feeling the same crap the next morning. And because it was so transformative, I've now created it as a done with you program called the Alignment Accelerator, because I wanted to help others experience what I experienced. And I know how important accountability on this journey, because again, I was consistent for 2 days and then inconsistent, and then I'd do it again. And here's what this is. So I've created for every evening, Monday to Friday at 9 p.m. I go live on Zoom and I guide you through this entire practice. We do the body movement to release stored trauma. We do breath work to regulate your nervous system. We do subconscious programming to shift those old stories like there's not enough, I'm not safe. And there's so many other stories that we hold on to. And then we do a beautiful visualization meditation to create a sense of safety in your body and to be able to visualize your future life. Now, this practice is designed to actually change your personality at the deepest, deepest level. And when your personality changes, your personal reality changes, as famously said by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Now, here's what I discovered: you can't think your way out of root chakra blockages. You have to reprogram the subconscious patterns that you are running underneath everything. So, here's what I'm offering. You can join the Alignment Accelerator for a free 30-day trial. There is no commitment. You just come, experience it with me, show up in the evenings, and I'll guide you through every step of the way. That link is in the description below, and I really hope that you'll join me, because doing this work together in a community creates a beautiful transformation. Okay, so now let's move on. The ancient yogis discovered that the root chakra has a seed sound that resonates with it. And that seed sound is LAM, and it sounds like this: Lam. And I'll be honest, it felt a bit unusual at first, a bit woo woo, but I invite you to try it with an open heart. So, what I want you to do is sit comfortably, place your intention at the bottom of your spine, and take a gentle breath. And as you exhale, chant Lam. And see, because you can feel the vibration at the base of your spine, because you've put the intention there. That sound frequency actually supports the energy center. Like I said, it might feel new at first, it might feel a little bit woo woo, but I encourage you to experience it before deciding whether it works or not. And now let's move on. So, the next step is all about practicing self care. Now, I used to think affirmations weren't for me and that they didn't work until I realized that I'd actually been affirming negative beliefs my entire life. The fact that I'm not safe, there's not enough, the answer's always going to be no. Those were affirmations too, but just painful ones, and ones of lack. So now every morning I consciously look at myself in the mirror and I say to myself, I am safe in my body. I have everything I need. I am enough. Life is holding me. You are amazing. Now, at first, these words felt so untrue. I would say them and almost feel silly, but I kept going gently, day after day after day. And after some time, they started to feel real. You wouldn't speak to your friends and family that way. So, why would you speak to yourself in that way? Change that habit. Let's move on to the next practice. And it's so simple. So, please don't overlook it. Again, just take off your shoes, stand, walk, stomp, run, whatever it is on the ground, whether it's grass, whether it's soil, whether it's sand, whatever is available to you in your part of the world. Because there's research showing this helps reduce inflammation, it helps to reduce stress. But beyond that, it simply feels nourishing. It reminds us that we're not separate from the earth, we're a part of it. Now, what I like to do is find a tree and rest my hand against it and breathe, because trees have been holding themselves steady for so long. They can teach us about being rooted and being stable. Now, if you haven't subscribed, then please do so, because next week I'm going to go through the sacral chakra together. And don't go anywhere, because what I'm about to share with you next are the body based practices that will help you release fear that's stored in your nervous system from when you were younger or when you experienced trauma. So, when anxiety arises and you feel yourself spiraling, your breath changes to shallow and fast, and your heart starts to beat faster. This breathing pattern can help bring you back from that shallow and fast breathing count. And it's so simple. You breathe in for 4 counts, you hold for 4 counts, you breathe out for 4 counts, and then you hold for 4 counts. And all you need to do is continue this for a few minutes and notice what shifts. Your nervous system genuinely can't stay in panic mode when you're breathing this way. And now I use this before anything that makes me nervous. And that also includes just coming on camera and speaking, because that I couldn't do because my throat chakra was blocked. But more about that in the future. Then there's a technique called havening. And the first time I experienced it, I cried deeply, not from sadness, but because I was releasing the energy within me. You gently bring your mind to a time when you felt unsafe, and you hold that memory softly in your head, and you stroke your arms from your shoulders to your elbows. Or you can stroke your face from your forehead down to your chin, and keep the touch gentle, soothing. And what this does is it creates delta waves in your brain that help separate the fear from the memory. And again, I know it sounds so simple, but it works with so much tenderness. Old fears I'd carried for so long began to soften, began to let go. And let's move to the next method. It's basically getting up, dancing, swaying, stomping if you need to. Practice yoga poses like the warrior pose or the child's pose. Our bodies hold our experiences. So sometimes we need to move our body through with gentleness and with patience to shift that stuck energy. Now, if these practices and these methods are resonating with you, click the like button and share it with someone who might need it. It helps this reach more people who are searching for self help. Okay, so now stay with me, because what I'm about to share next is the most powerful healing practice I've ever experienced. And it's going to help you speak directly to your inner child, to your subconscious mind. It's an ancient Hawaiian practice for forgiveness and reconciliation. Okay, so first, let me help you understand something. That part of you that feels anxious, that feels afraid, that's your inner child. That's the younger version of you, maybe 3, 5, 7 years old, who learned that the world might not be safe. Now, inner child trauma isn't about placing blame. It's simply about understanding and taking responsibility for what happened and your healing. When you were younger and something felt frightening, it felt unstable, you didn't have the capacity to process it fully. And what happened was, as a result, you absorbed it into your little body, and that tender, scared child is still inside of you right now, still influencing how safe you feel in the world. So, your blocked root chakra is essentially your inner child saying, I don't feel safe. I never learned that I would be held and protected. And Ho'oponopono is how we speak directly to that precious part of ourselves. It's simple statements that are so powerful. And they are, I am sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. Very, very simple. And here's how I use this for root chakra healing. I sit quietly, use the havening technique, wrap my arms around me, and bring the awareness to the base of my spine. I imagine my younger self, that small child who felt scared, who felt alone, who wasn't sure if they were safe. And then I speak to them gently. I say to them, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you felt so frightened. I'm sorry no one showed that you were safe. I'm sorry you've been carrying this fear for so long. Please forgive me for not listening sooner, for pushing your feelings away, for not hearing what you were trying to tell me all this time. Thank you for trying so hard to protect me. Thank you for surviving. Thank you for doing your very best with what you knew at the time. I love you. You are safe. I am here now. I've got you. You don't have to be afraid anymore. I'm not going anywhere. I love you. Now, the first time I did this, I wept, deep, releasing tears, because I realized I'd been abandoning myself over and over. That scared child had been trying to reach me my entire life. And I'd been telling them to be quiet, to go away. And what I want you to do is do this daily. Keep speaking with your inner child with such tenderness. Keep reassuring them. And slowly, I mean slowly, this is gentle work. That part of you will begin to feel safe. Your root chakra opens because you're finally giving that scared child what they always needed. And that is to be seen, to be loved, to be heard, to be told that they are not alone anymore. This is the deepest, deepest work, not just the meditation and the breathing, but actually healing the original wound with such compassion. And I want you to be honest with yourself. This journey isn't And I want to be honest with you because this journey isn't always smooth. It's not always easy. Someday you'll feel wonderful, grounded, safe, at peace. And then the next day, the old fears might resurface and it feels like you haven't made any progress at all. And this is completely, completely normal. This is how healing unfolds. It's not a straight point. It moves in circles, spirals. Sometimes it asks us to revisit places we thought we'd already healed. But here's what I know in my heart. After 2 years of walking this path, it is so deeply, deeply worth it. Now, I used to wake up afraid, that feeling of not belonging every single morning. Now, most mornings, I wake up feeling calm, feeling relaxed because I'm doing the work. And this is possible for you too. I truly, truly believe that. So start gently, choose 2 or 3 practices and commit to them daily. Do it for a month, not when it's convenient, not when you remember, but as a loving promise to yourself every single day. For me, the meditation, the alignment accelerator that I do in the evening, and the LUM mantra became so foundational. And when I added Ho'oponopono, everything deepened even more. So discover what resonates with your heart, but please commit to showing up for yourself. And if you need someone to be accountable, then join the alignment accelerator. The link is in the comments below. Remember, your root chakra is the foundation. And when you heal this, everything else in your life begins to shift naturally. You stop living from a place of fear. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to trust life. Now, here's what would mean so much to me. If you found value in this video, let me know in the comments. If you haven't watched last week's video about recognizing your chakras and which ones are blocked, please watch it. It's linked in the description below and the card up here. Please subscribe and turn on the notification, because next week we're exploring the sacral chakra, how to heal your relationship with pleasure, with creativity, with emotional expression. This work, it will build beautifully on what we're doing right now. Lastly, share this with someone who's carrying fear. You might be exactly what they need to find their way to healing. Your blocked root chakra doesn't define who you are. It's simply been trying to keep you safe in the only way it knew how. And now you know how to speak to it with love, with compassion, with care. I see you, I hear you, you're safe now. So, with that, I'm going to see you in next week as we continue this journey together. Until then, be gentle with yourself, talk to your inner child, and remember you're doing beautifully, even when it doesn't feel that way. So, until next time, much love and namaste. Thank you.